Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
Hail Satan.
I don't know. Like, I always think, for me, man, like, I don't really get that stressed with, like, the music coming together. So the other night when I played that show, and it was with my good friends, Brett and Gary, we only did one rehearsal.
Yeah.
And I just told them, I was like, hey, guys, try to play the record as best you can. When we get together, we'll sort the shit out, and we'll do the show. We did one rehearsal. We did pretty good. You know, we got the songs down. And if anything, I was more critical of myself than I was of either one of them. But, I mean, they did awesome, like playing the show and everything. But the thing is that I know that we had so much more room to, like, sound better and play better and, like, be tighter as a band. But I just wasn't there to worry about that because, first off, they're my friends, and I treat them like my friends. And, you know, we're playing the show and everything, and, like, I want them to not feel stressed. You know, I don't want them to think that, like...
Were they paid or no?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not judging. I'm just
No,
like
you're
that.
good.
I'm just trying to get a sense that. So, but
I
yeah,
have not paid them yet,
Yeah.
but I'm going to.
they will be paid.
Yeah, they will be paid.
So here's the thing, though.
That's for the record. If they ever say this, I'm like, what?
If you guys are watching this, you have other problems. I don't know why. Go do something productive.
Yeah.
I guess if you're listening while you're doing other things.
Actually, I think Brett and Gary both listen to this.
Really?
So,
right on.
Hey, guys.
What's up, guys?
But I was going to say, like, for me, like, working with them and, like, specifically, you know, this show that came up, I was, like, not stressed about it. I was like, if we fuck up, I'm going to laugh about it.
So before you did the show, I was actually, like, something that was going through my head before you did it was, like, it's very interesting to me. Like, you chose these guys who you don't even live near. So it's like, I mean, you guys have a relationship, and that shows in the music too. And a lot of bands have that, and I think that's important.
Yeah.
It's if Gary still lived here, you guys would be like the best band ever because you guys are all so good at your instruments. You just don't have that opportunity to jam every day or every other day or whatever.
Yeah. The main reason I got Gary is because, I mean, Gary is, you know, he's always been just a go-to drummer for me in, like, the recent years because he did the American Sweethearts album and he did the last album, and I was like, it would just be, you know, less to work with if I got...
He's also very good at like knowing drum sounds. Like I don't think about like how my snare sounds when I play, which I should. I'm more concerned about like my playing than the tone. He's very good at finding tones on drums.
Yeah, he is pretty good at that. If anything, he's about like anything that's out of the ordinary. It's like, you know, a typical drummer, I shouldn't say typical drummer, but like, you know, there's drummers that buy nice heads and like, you know, make sounds like from their toms and stuff. They like want it low end or they want it to ring more or less. Like, I don't think Gary really is focused on that so much, except for the snare and the cymbals. So like Gary is good at like the snare.
Very true on that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's very on par with how his snare sounds, and he's not really, I don't think he's changed his snare head in probably like a few years. Don't quote me on that. He may be like, oh, I do it every 6 months or every 9 years or 9 months or something.
I feel like you have to if you're hitting them. They just break. But
he's also a very soft player. Like he does not play very hard, and you know, unless the music is hard, he can hear it and feel it pretty well. But he is really into like rudiments and like placing them in certain parts of the drum set that like are, to me, it's like unorthodox because like he'll use like his snare in places where it's like I'm just hearing a 2 and 4, but he's wanting to do.
He's actually very good at I would say his approach, and I see when we would compose together, specifically rhythms, I would see him like hear something and go, okay, how can I do what he's not expecting, but still sounds good. Like it's very easy to Charlie Watts just died. Great drummer, and he's a huge influence on me. But it's so easy to go with the Charlie Watts approach, like boom, boom, chuck, chuck, boom, boom, chuck, chuck. When like there's a million ideas that could be done otherwise. You know?
Yeah, Gary is he likes to do something that you're not non-Charlie Watts or Four on the Floor. Like he doesn't do those things.
He's like, well, how can I do something that isn't done by most people?
Yeah.
I hear that on your thing a lot, on your record, or EP, LP, EP. I don't know.
It's EP.
I hear on that, I'm like, oh shit, I would have done something completely different here, and
that's I think that
in
way
a good way.
No, I feel you. No, I feel that way. I listen to a lot of songs and think that too, or I think it's either I would have done this, or damn, how did they do that? Because if I think that, then I'm usually really into it, and I really want to find out how they did that. So, for just with Gary and like him drumming for the last few songs of mine and EPs, like he's always just like brought the Gariness to it, and it definitely gives it the thing that I couldn't have done myself. Like I couldn't have played drums in the way he plays. And it just, I don't know, it fits well for the stuff that I've been doing. And, he knows how to play.
And Brett.
Yeah, Brett, he's an old friend, like since middle school. And we, he just.
I tell you this all the fucking time. Like, the idea of friends making music together is what's lacking in a lot of Nashville. Particularly, it's like higher guns. Like you can totally hear, at least on stage, when I watched you three, you looked like you were supposed to be together on stage. Just something weird when like you go to Broadway and there's like a 70-year-old drummer with like a, you know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
I don't know.
No, I was lucky to get my friends to play that show, but they all do their own stuff too. So it's like, I think of it as a band, but. I've also thought of it as like the music that we're making is, the lyrics and the guitar and everything besides the drums is Gary's.
It's weird how much.
Or you know what I'm saying? The drums are Gary's.
Everything. Yeah. So you come up with the bass line and tell Brett to do it?
Yeah, for that. We've only done this one show.
No, but I mean, like, is Brett a bassist normally, or is he just multi-instrumentalist?
Yeah, I would say he's a multi-instrumentalist.
When did you guys start playing together?
Man, dude, Brett and I, we went to the same school, and we met in like 7th grade because I got held back. And in 7th grade, it sucked.
7th grade.
No, it was actually awesome.
Honestly, I think about it, like, that would have given me an extra year to, like...
No, I made way more friends in that grade, in the grade that I graduated in, all that stuff. Anyways, he and I became really good friends through music and just, like, being into, Metallica and Guns N' Roses and stuff like that. And, like, he played bass first, then he started playing guitar. And so he and I, all the way through high school, would just, like... do guitar together all the time, just jam and like, yo, check this out. And be like,
was Metallica like mainstream where you were growing up?
Not
or was it still
really.
Kind of obscure?
It was obscure for like
high school age.
Yeah, as I say, like it was obscure for middle school and stuff. But we. Nobody listened to that just because, like, it's a small town fucking redneck.
Well, I feel like metal is more redneck. I never knew metal growing up until I went to college and I started becoming friends with townies.
Well, dude, like, I would say, like, some people liked Metallica, like, they liked the songs, but, like, they weren't into it like me and Brett were. Like, Brett and I were into, and, like, a lot of my friends were into bands and like whole albums and into like songs and like you know what I'm saying? And there's a difference in
Yo, let's talk about that for a second, because as a creator now, I really have no desire to put no desire to put an album out, because I think if I put an album out, no one's going to listen to some songs. But if I put individual songs out, each one will get listened to.
Yeah, no, that's the way to do it now.
It's
Like,
so
they're-
fucked up.
But it's an old idea to like listen to an album.
But
Like,
there's
nobody,
I miss that. You know,
I
like
did too. Yeah, I can appreciate that, and like especially like I was really big into Coheed and Cambria, and their whole album is like a concept.
my ex was into that.
Oh, dude, I was obsessed with them.
Dude, they have good like ballads. Like you wouldn't
Yeah.
expect a band like that to like do soft shit well,
Yeah.
but
Well, to me, it was like they were the perfect mix of like progressive music and also like blues jams stuff.
I hear that.
And the reason why is because like it wasn't like the most crazy, intricate guitar playing in comparison to like Animals as Leaders and
They kind of remind me
Periphery.
of like a more sophisticated My Chemical Romance. Like they have that vibe.
yeah. No, I hear you.
If you're into My Chemical Romance, I think you'd be into Coheed and Cambria. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, for the music value, they could be pretty close.
It's like
but
if Tool and My Chemical Romance
yeah, made
had a baby.
That's good. That's a
Yeah.
pretty good comparison. But dude, I was just really into Coheed, and Brett was too, but I think more so me. Well, I shouldn't say that. Brett was really into him, and we really bonded on that band, and just learning riffs from songs that they did, and like trying to learn Welcome Home, and especially like Metallica songs, dude, and Creed. I was really into Creed.
Yeah,
bro.
you've
Now,
mentioned this
I don't give a
before.
fuck. Creed is badass today as they
I
were
don't.
back then.
Okay, I think we might have spoken. I don't believe in guilty pleasures at 30 years
Yeah.
old. It's like there can't be such thing as
yeah,
guilty
I
pleasure.
shouldn't. I don't even know why I pretend that like I would care. Like, I still like Nickelback. No, I do. Fuck you.
No, there's some
Sorry, they're
shit
good.
I like have to pull up the windows in my car when I'm listening to it. Sometimes I'm just like, I don't know if I want people seeing me.
I think it's like usually Taylor Swift or something like that for me. Like,
I don't listen to Taylor Swift. I don't know,
Okay.
but I have no problem listening to pop. I just don't listen to Taylor Swift.
I got you.
I listened to this weekend. I watched a video of Billie Eilish, and I hate to be this guy, but I was so not impressed.
She's cool.
I think she's cool, but like her music, it's been done before, in my opinion. Like I heard it, I was like, this sounds like what's that bitch's name? She's really hot. Red hair. Lana Del Rey.
Oh,
I was like, this has been done before. It's just like a different person doing the same
Yeah.
thing.
I mean, to me, I think all music's been done before. So it's just
Very
like,
true.
lyrically and sonically, it has changed a little bit. Like the Olivia Rodrigo girl,
Yeah,
Rodriguez.
I just know she met with Biden. I don't really know.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
I can only imagine great things come from that. No, I'm just kidding.
They do it for the publicity, Like,
Yeah.
and not but like it's now little girls are gonna be supporting Biden just because.
Oh, because she did that.
Yeah, like little 16-year-olds who will vote in the next thing.
Yep, gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say this: she's got a lot of criticism from her song "Good for You," because it sounds a little bit like this song called "Misery Business" from Paramore in like 2007.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So, like, here's the thing: that song.
But Paramore won, right?
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
but it's not a win or loss thing.
The
I mean,
case.
just-
They won the case.
Oh, it's a case.
Well, it apparently now Paramore is getting the songwriting credit on it, or is getting songwriting.
Yeah,
credit
well,
on it.
I don't think it was a legal thing. I thought it was like Olivia Rodriguez, like said that Paramore, that she was inspired heavily by that band and that song in particular to do that song. Because like TikTok brought it up. They were like, "Yo, if you like this song, good for you." Like it sounds just like this song, and you'll probably like it too. And then people are like saying, "Oh, she stole it from that," which by the way, everybody fucking steals. Like,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying is like, talking about Billie Eilish and Lana Del Rey, like,
There's a
they-
certain a level I think you can steal, and then there's a certain level where it's stealing. I don't think in this. I don't know the songs, but if this is anything like the Robin Thicke case, where he stole Marvin Gaye's "Got to Give" that
Oh.
song "Blurred Lines."
Yeah.
Yeah, if this is anything like that, then I don't think she stole it. But I don't know if you've heard about this story with Tom Petty and
Sam Smith.
Sam Smith.
Yep.
But he said that when he went to Sam Smith, he said to him, this is like, I just remember reading an interview, and this is what Tom Petty's camp said. They went to Sam Smith and they said, we think that you stole the song. And they were like, we've never heard that song. So that's when he brought the case against them. When he met with the Strokes, because they made a song called Last Night. Do you know that song?
Mm-mm.
It sounds like American Girl. It's the same like chords or whatever.
Okay.
And he came to them and he said, yo, this kind of sounds like us. And they're like, yeah, we're heavily inspired by you. And he's like, that's cool. But it was when Sam Smith played it off like he didn't know it, he brought him to court. And then they lost the case like pretty instantly.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
like Tom Petty's like put in the song credits or whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
So it's kind of like if you act as a friend, it should be accepted.
well, maybe. I mean, there really is like a social aspect to it, of like playing it cool with other artists so they don't sue you. But, you know, like that's what sucks is like any artist can like do a song and then somebody else does another song and it sounds similar and they can like put something up against you,
Well, there was,
especially
like-
if you got some like lyrics in there that sounds, it's like you said something similar or something. But yeah, like it's man, nothing is new under the sun, and like it just seems to me like a lot of these people, you know, are involved in the business so much that they
Keep going. Yeah.
you're good. They're just involved in the business, and like they're not realizing that like, oh yeah, other people's shit's gonna sound like my shit. So like, you know, even if I would say like I can tell you my songs
Mhm.
that I know that I took from other songs and other, you know, artists. But yeah, there's also a problem to me if someone like can't admit that they stole it from somewhere, because they had to have gotten influenced by somebody. Like you know, you can do music probably and just think that you're making up everything on the spot.
Well,
but
I think there's also an element of what happens, and I had this conversation with my sister and her fiance at the Smokies, because she was putting on back-to-back Nicki then Cardi B songs, and I was like, Cardi B kind of stole Nicki's thing, and my sister's like, no, she was inspired by her. I could totally see Nicki being like, fuck, and apparently Nicki doesn't like Cardi B. My sister
Yeah.
was telling me. I could totally see Nicki being like, fuck this bitch, like I did it first, come up with your own thing. At the same time, she should be flattered, right? Like
yeah,
she's huge, she's already huge, and this girl is like also huge, and she's inspired by her and she likes her.
yeah.
Made me think of this album right here. This came out in 1967, the Rolling Stones. It's called Their Satanic Majesty's Request. It came out shortly after Sgt. Pepper.
Oh,
And it kind of sounds like Sgt. Pepper.
really?
And the Beatles and Stones had a Cardi B, Nicki relationship with each other.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Shit.
So there is like kind of an element of like, yo, chill out. But there's also part of like that actually kind of makes both those albums cooler though. And historically, you look back at it, and there's even more history to the album than just the music. Like now, there's other albums and
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, there's also the Beach Boys. You know, the
Mhm.
Beach Boys and like Pet Sounds in comparison to what other Beatles album that came after that, and like how they're super
Is that true?
similar. Yeah,
I'll have to
there's
check that
some,
out.
But like you can't deny that like the Beach Boys happened after the Beatles, so it's like, you know, they had to add a little influence from them as well, or some other artists. Everybody's influenced by somebody. Everybody steals something, so that's like I don't take.
But it's
stuff-
how you steal it, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can say how you steal it, but you're stealing nonetheless. And so, like, if somebody's going to get upset about it, they should at least admit that they've stolen too.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, why even be upset? You know, if somebody is taking something from you and you're upset about it, don't
Yeah.
forget to take the plank out of your own eye.
Yes,
And, like,
definitely.
you know, this is what music isn't, you know, for one person or just one person made it all up. Like, music is thousands of years old, millions of years old, I would even say. And it's, it would just be arbitrary to think that, like, oh yeah, he invented that, or
Well, you know about Quentin Tarantino and like how he steals a lot of his shit,
yeah,
and he considers himself more like a remixer, or like a rap producer, where he's taking a beat from this song, a hook from this, and creating its own thing,
Yeah.
using other people's shit.
and becomes a Tarantino.
Yeah. And I think that that is how creative shit works. Like, I mean, fucking Steve Jobs did that with the iPhone. He's like, oh, phone, computer, like, let's just do it at one. Like,
Yeah.
I
Like it's just guitar. Like if somebody's playing a guitar a certain way, like you get inspired by that, and like
fuck
like
you.
just yeah. So like you look at classical guitarists and like their influence on folk singers and from 18th century and stuff, and blues guitarists and how they influence rock guitarists, and how the rock guitarists influence pop musicians. Like the list is just like, it goes so far back to who made up whatever that like no one person can say that they are the inventor of that, because they had to have gotten it from somewhere else.
Especially like when you're talking, not even as like a songwriter, when you're talking as a musician in particular, nothing is original, because everything had to have been taught, or you had to see, like,
Or it's also being done by someone else. That's what I
Yeah.
was gonna say. Is like, just because like you've done something and you think, man, I figured something out. There are 7 billion people here. Somebody else has done that shit. Like, it's not something crazy that's going on. You're making music.
but
And like, or a
what's
song
cool
or whatever.
about individual musicians is like, and going back to Gary's style, which is like, I could come in with what I think is a reggae song, and then I'll have a musician, and he's like, you know what? I could see some metal beat over that, and then you're like, wait, what? This worked perfect,
Yeah.
some shit. Like having the where if you're playing a metal thing, like playing a metal beat alone is not original. Playing it over the reggae thing, now that's original. So
Yeah. Well, it's like, I guess, like, you could just like the word original there is just like kind of loosely used. Like a metal beat's a metal beat, and like
It's
you
a punk
could just
beat.
yeah,
It's a-
or better yet, you could even get more articulate with the language. You could say, yes, that that two played or playing double time. You know what I'm saying? Like if
Yeah.
somebody knows how to articulate it properly, like you could really just narrow it down to notes on a staff paper,
Mhm.
or however you want to think about it, and it's just like not even relative to like a genre. And
I hear
but
ya.
you would say like, oh, that could be in that genre or something, but like like
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying, is it's like music isn't original to one person, so it's just like everything you do and use is just stealing from another person or from another idea that's happened already. That's just how I think of it, and like I guess it's sort of
Well, what I'll do, like when I write, and kind of going back to my song Next Year in Zion, like I was like, okay, I think that reggae and Jewish music sound very similar. I'm gonna write a song that uses. I think you were here. I asked Brody to show me how the structure of Jewish chords was.
yeah.
And then I was like, okay, once I understand that, I was able to use that to like create a progression, and I just produced the whole thing as a reggae song, and the whole thing was like basically unoriginal in the sense that like I just wrote a Jewish song and then put reggae production on it, basically.
Yeah.
You know?
That's like when I was gonna say, like with the music that I do with like the math rock, and I also try to implement country as well.
Well, that's because that's your DNA. You can't ignore that.
Yeah, well, I would say it's also because I listen to country, I listen to math rock, and I'm influenced by both of those things. So I
Mhm.
just intertwine them where I think that I can. and it's really not that original to me. Like it's honestly like a basic, just basic math rock, and like maybe a little bit more.
But I'll tell you something about your stuff is it's very every single thing you've ever made is extremely Jack Binkered, and like you have a very unique voice. Like I'll always know a Jack song. I'm not there yet. I mean, I think that comes from writing a lot. You do a lot of writing, but there is like, if you didn't even sing on a song, I would know if it's a Jack song. I feel like.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. But do not think that you don't have nothing, because I think that you have a very. Well, I think that you're funny. Like your songs.
I consider myself though in school right now. Like I don't think I've figured out what I'm doing yet. I'm still like learning and like still trying things out.
Everybody's in school. I was gonna say I'm in school too, man. Like I'm trying to figure that shit out.
I just don't feel confident in myself yet as an artist. Like if I feel like I was developed as an artist, I would go out and play, but I just don't know what a Micah set would look like yet, you know?
Hey, this is all I gotta say. You are an artist. And what do you gotta do?
Make the evidence, yeah.
Exactly. That's it. So like, that's
I love
all
that.
you gotta do, man. Just make the evidence and let other people interpret it. Somebody's gonna think you suck. Somebody's think you're gonna be great. Somebody thinks you're hilarious. Somebody thinks you're not very funny. Like, that's me. You know, that's the same thing with me. Like, I don't think of myself as like, you know, I'm an artist, you're an artist, and like there's not a hierarchy of who's better or who's worse. Like Kanye is an artist, and you know, Jay Dilla.
I agree with that completely, and I think that like there was a lot of great that came to Instagram at first when I was doing it, but the more I did it, the more I felt like it kind of was becoming that. And I was like, fuck this. Like, I need to make music because I enjoy it, not because, like, I need to get likes on it and shit. You know?
Yeah. Dude, I definitely feel that. Like, for me, it's, you know, for a few years, I was thinking, like, I need to be the best businessman that I can be with this stuff.
I had that, too.
Yeah, and, like, there is, like, a balance that you have to take. And, like, as far as like the stuff that I do, first off, the genre that I'm trying to appeal to and like the people I appeal to, it's not a very big market.
That doesn't matter, though. That's why you have to be a good businessman.
Yeah, but I'm saying like people that are yeah, you're right. but there are people that are in that genre, the math rock genre, and like are successful for math rock standards and don't really make, you know, Kanye West type money. Yeah. Or, you know, that's another thing too, is like when I'm starting to think about dollar bills and music, like it just like it just breaks me down kind of, because I'm just like, man, I really am just like, because I know the truth. I know the truth that the money making part of the music business that I want to do, and if I just want to make money, I know how to. But I don't really want to do it.
Well, so he will. It's exactly the same, and I think what I've learned in these past few years, and this is exactly to your point. Like, I now have a job that allows me to make music that I make enough money, I get enough freedom that I can do the work and do this. Mm-hmm. That like I am not worried. Like, I don't feel like I have to worry about the business side. Like, because when you think about, like, this is what kept happening to me. I would, like, be like, oh, okay, this is how I'm going to release the album and shit. And then I, like, thought about it, and I was like, this is so not what Bob Dylan would do. like this is the exact opposite of what 11-year-old Micah, 12-year-old Micah would think is cool. He'd be like, fuck you.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that too. I always think like, man, would my 16-year-old self be like, I can't believe that you play country band, like country music, and like,
yeah.
You play with a Prince tribute band. Are you kidding me, bro? Like, I'm just have a way different philosophy, and like, you know, I would want to be more punk rock back then, you know, but
I had this whole conversation with my mom about like what the idea of punk rock now. Like, I have that in me. I like pissing people off, but like like the song "Pussy Grabber," like it's very hard to go out on stage, perform something that you put your effort into, and then someone tells you to go fuck yourself after. it's like I know punk is supposed to be cool, but I'm older now, and I'm just like, maybe I don't want to piss anyone off.
The other day, like I do the big brain tough guy shit.
Yeah.
And like the other day at my little wedding engagement thing we did at the beach, had a bunch of friends there, and like we got a guitar out, and it was like the most douchey looking thing, sitting around a fucking circle at a beach.
It looked fun as fuck, dude.
It was a really good time. However, there was at one point where like Leah's friends are there and my friends are there, and like I start playing my big brain tough guy stuff.
Everyone's like, go fuck yourself.
Well, they weren't like, go fuck yourself, because, it's my engagement party thing. But so everybody's like, okay, interesting. I started singing shit on my balls and fart on my balls. Like, I started singing. I played like halfway through it, and then I stopped. I was like, don't know when y'all want to hear that. And they're like, yeah, let's play something else. But
I bet you if like I were there with
like,
a tambourine,
shit.
like like everyone would be there, like as long as there's
well, the thing is like it just wasn't the right crowd.
Yeah, there's that too.
Yeah.
There's always know the crowd.
Yeah, like there's just the word "shit on my balls." Like it can only if
based
you
on what you described.
Yeah, like shit on my balls type language is not appealing to if you got 10 people in a room, maybe like 3 would think it's funny. You know what I'm saying? So I just had to.
I just like music.
3 people
I prefer music that isn't trying to change the world over music that takes itself too serious. Like, especially down here. Like, I'd prefer. And you know what? A part of what makes Bob Dylan and the Beatles so good was like they didn't see themselves as like other people saw them as like prophets and shit, and they were like not even. Close to that. Like they're like, we just want to get stoned and like like.
No, I can appreciate that too, man. Like the taking yourself too seriously. Like I see that, and like I can admire it to the extent of like the hard work and dedication and discipline it takes to like be a successful artist. But it doesn't appeal to me the way it does for like these nonchalant musicians.
It takes away the fun of it in a lot of element. Like I think people, in many ways, want to have a good time, or like they want to see a good time, and like.
Yeah, but there is also something to be said. Like I shouldn't say like no. There's some musicians that are not disciplined. Some are. Like there is discipline and hard work and things you have to do in order to be successful.
For sure.
And I'm aware of that, and I don't think I put nearly as much effort as some. But, I think that there are some that are so dedicated to where it's like, and it's so dedicated and disciplined to where it's like, that's what is that I admire, not necessarily the music. So, like, I do have, like, what I like to hear and listen to. But, I can respect somebody that I don't really listen to, but they still have all the discipline and hard work ethic.
Like Billie Eilish, by the way. I respect her. Like, I saw it. I was like, oh, it's just like, I saw there was discipline. I saw that she's perfected something, but like, it wasn't what turned me on. That's all.
No, I just thought the on and off switch is on there. But I just liked their song, the Bad Guy song, when it first came out.
I didn't listen. I think I have to hear that. What I heard was listen, I'm not saying she was bad. I'm just saying like it was, and I guess that got us right into it. Just like I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting. I should have expected it. The more I think about it, it's like the biggest a musician is usually not someone that's like different.
Or someone that's not predictable. Yeah. No, like she I think she started off with that. Well, actually, she was like an indie artist. Mm-hmm. And so she had like some songs that were not nearly as big.
Well, I respect that her and her brother write their own shit.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Her brother does a lot of the work too. That's cool. Their whole family is like full of musicians.
Oh, really?
But yeah,
That makes him cooler.
but she
Makes him way cooler.
sorry, she had that song "Bad Guy," and I don't know if it like was her breakthrough hit or something like that. But what I thought
think
was
it was.
cool about it, okay, what I thought about it was that it sounded corny. Like it sounded like I don't know why I thought this, but I pictured that movie Despicable Me, the bad guy,
Yeah.
the you know what I'm talking about. He's the main character.
Mhm.
I thought that like when that song came out, I was like, bro, like 3 years from now, they're gonna be a Despicable Me 5, and that's gonna be like the theme song.
Is that what
And it's-
happened?
No, it didn't happen. But I was like, that would happen. They just choose this outdated song to be their theme song, and they thought it was fun. Like because there's one part in the song where she says, "I'm the bad guy," and like it's like this weird snaky sounding voice. It's pretty cool. It's like a cool special.
I feel like I might. I
Production
feel
idea.
like I'm gonna hear the song after this. You're gonna play it for me. I'm gonna be like, I've heard this before.
Yeah, you probably have. But it's just like after she does that part, it sounds like it's like she put a fan in front of the mic and said, "I'm the bad guy," and then it has this little melody that sounds like some like corny secret agent shit. I don't know how to talk about it. The melody is like it is so funny to me because it's just like it's out of place to me, but it sounds like some shit that like would pop up on one of them fucking Minion movies or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she ended up
That's,
doing James Bond theme song for
Did she?
for the newest one.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Really?
Which is like kind of just from what I heard. So the only reason I saw her was Howard Stern live in the studio thing popped up,
Oh.
and it
She's
was
on Howard Stern?
yeah. That's why I was like, I'll
Whoa.
check this out. It's like he's kind of like, you got to remember he has done like America's Got Talent and all that shit. So like now he's kind of like family friendly.
Dialed it down.
Yeah. But she was there, and it was just her brother on acoustic guitar, and like I just wasn't too impressed. But like it wasn't. I like didn't finish the video. I was like, oh, this is just like a typical pop star. But like I'm sure hearing with the production, and I could tell she was like super emo type, and I was like not surprised that she got the James Bond like
Yeah, the gig
themes. Like she has that
credential.
vibe.
Yeah. She has a good low singing voice.
Yes, yeah.
I don't know if it's alto or
Baritone. I don't know. Even know baritone.
baritone's like
Yeah.
really
You gotta
low.
be
Yeah.
You gotta have balls.
Yeah.
Yo,
Yeah, she's definitely an alto.
Did
but
you-
she's good.
first of all, are you a Clapton fan? I feel like you're not.
I can appreciate it, but if I told you I listened to Eric Clapton,
No, but
I
do you
would-
know his story, like with his
I
kid and
know-
everything?
I know that there's like a lot of controversy with him, and I know he's like, I've heard some shit where he like abused this girlfriend that he had, and like threatened her. With,
Really?
Yeah, something like he would.
Well, you know about his kid, right?
Is that the one that?
He like fell out a window when he was a baby.
Yeah, and he like wrote a song about it.
Yeah, and that was like his biggest song,
What song was it?
"Tears in Heaven."
Oh, that's right. That's it.
And
I was like, is it Layla?
so like,
You look wonderful.
I guess that technically Layla's his biggest song, but that wasn't his solo.
Yeah.
It was Derek and the Dominoes.
Oh, he was in that.
Yeah, and Dwayne
Gotcha.
Allman.
Oh, Jesus.
Dude, Dwayne Allman's a beast.
No,
But,
he is.
yeah.
I love Dwayne Allman. I love the Allman Brothers.
But anyways, you know about the controversy. Like he just released a song about like anti-vaccine.
I did. Oh, I did.
First of all, the song itself is a piece of shit. It's just so bad. It's like an old man
whining.
whining. Yeah.
Dude, there's actually, unfortunately, I do love this guy. Van Morrison did something like
Yeah,
that too.
I also, and I actually like this. The songs weren't so bad, and he's on them. Clapton plays guitar on them.
On what?
The Van Morrison, one of the Van Morrison
the
songs.
No More Lockdown.
On one of them, yeah,
Yeah.
it might be that one because he
Yeah.
made like 2 or 3.
Oh, I didn't know
songs.
that.
But-
Damn.
Yeah, so Clapton makes this
Man.
piece of shit song,
Yeah.
and the internet obviously decides to troll the shit out of him. I saw some of the funniest fucking tweets. Like, one of them said, Clapton would take the vaccine if we called it George Harrison's wife.
Damn.
Because, he stole his wife.
I knew that may have been the girl. That may have been the girl.
That's Layla. That's Layla.
That's Layla?
Yeah.
Well, she's the one that.
And then she left George Harrison from after he made that song, I think, and went to
Damn.
Clapton. And then somebody else wrote, everybody should listen to this new Eric Clapton song. This is the guy who knows how to keep your kids safe, or how to keep kids safe.
Ooh. Yikes.
It was just, I'm like, watching this. I'm like,
I know he's done some fucked up shit, but I was going to say, I'm pretty sure that's the girl, Layla. She did like a book, and she did like
yes,
a
tell-all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was like saying Clapton was crazy. Like, that he.
Well, he was on heroin also.
Yeah, I was going to say. Like, there was a time where he got clean, and she left. And he like showed up at some event and said that he was gonna do this whole thing of heroin if she didn't like come back home.
What?
Yeah, like tried to manipulate her to come back to the house, or he was gonna do all this heroin. It was ridiculous. And I was like, shit, that sucks. But I can also say this, like, I didn't listen to Clapton at all. Like, I never gave a shit.
Dude, Cream, growing up, especially Ginger Baker, who was also one of my favorite drummers, one of the biggest influence on me, also a piece of shit. There's a documentary about how difficult of a person he was.
Yeah.
So
some of these old rock stars, man, like, they really did just have inflated,
a god complex,
yeah.
maybe?
Well, just like, I just don't know how anyone knew how to control that. Like, nobody had like,
dude, they were the first like generation of 18-year-olds being richer than the fucking king,
And also, like if you think about, like artists when they play now, like if you watch shows from the 90s and any time prior, the fans are going fucking crazy. If you watch a show now and there's like a fucking...
They're on their phone.
Yeah, like it's just not as big of a deal.
Do you remember Woodstock 99?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that shit would not happen today. Because people have phones. They're not going to throw mud.
Yeah.
They're not going to get their phones dirty.
Yeah, like there's just like... it's just, on a whim, and like I'm just kind of observing on YouTube. Because I don't go to fucking festivals. I don't do that shit. Except I went to a festival in 2014 and like people were fucking wild there, but it was a metal show, and that's different than like, most other shows because you're supposed to fucking push and mosh and all that shit. But man, I look at shit from like the fucking Beatles and like the fucking
the Beatles like couldn't even play live because they couldn't hear themselves because the girls were
screaming, dude. That is non-existent today.
No, not at all.
Dude, you see like Michael Jackson from like 2009. People are in tears.
Yeah.
In tears watching this man perform.
Now people kind of have their arms crossed. They're like, well, show me something.
Yeah. Or like they'll clap or they'll put their phone out and stuff. But like I just don't know. Like maybe there's a few people that get that. But like I think we're just so... people are on their phones all the time, and they're just entertained constantly that when they see something that big, like, it's not nearly as big a deal as it would have been.
Like, there's niche bands that mosh, like,
Yeah.
That's still a thing, and I think that will still be a thing. Oh, you know what?
Well, there's a...
EDM.
EDM? Well, there's...
When you go to those things. That's a little... But
the people at the Beatles shows are not fucked up on shrooms and LSD.
That's a good call, too. Yeah, that's a good call, too. And there's actually, like... I have this call... I've had this call forever. Like,
those girls were sober, Micah. There's no way.
They were kids, too.
They were children, and they had no access to alcohol like how kids do today. Bro, there's no way. You cannot challenge... Dude, that... Holy fuck, man. They were sober and they were screaming at the Beatles like that.
Well, another thing about EDM that's funny is that electronic dance music is like the only genre that doesn't have a dance. Like the salsa. Like there's the salsa, the swing,
Yeah, like the swing or something. Yeah.
Hip hop even has a dance. There's a type of hip hop. Yeah.
One hop this time, all that shit. but fucking EDM
take
is
a
like
hip-hop
make up everything.
You could take a hip hop class. EDM, it's like jump up
Yeah.
and down.
Take this drug, close your eyes. Now what do you feel?
Basically.
Yeah. Man, that's funny. But man, I'm just saying, like, just those artists today, I just think it's like we have an oversaturated market of people and consumers that see, videos and like experience things to where like it's not a bad thing. I'm not saying like, man, we need to go back to when people, freaked out over the artist.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. But like I just think that it's just what we're dealing
But
with.
I'm guilty of it too, dude. We went to that show, that band I like, the Mother Hips, and a band I used to have respect for until I saw the show. And we went there, and I was like, I kind of had this attitude like, I've seen this before. Which, by the way, like, it wasn't that good, and they should be striving to. If you're in the game for more than 10 years, you should be better than you were 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, actually, you know who I think probably has like a good fan base and like maybe probably some toxicity as far as like the fans going crazy with Pine Grove. If you ever watch Pine Grove do like little shows,
Fish.
yeah, but like let's say like Pine Grove, like everybody knows the lyrics in there, and everybody's fucking screaming the lyrics right back at them, and I think that like they are.
I'll have to check that out.
I think that they're a band that has like strong fans that are obsessed with them.
And you know what? I bet that maybe one of them's a millionaire, but the rest, like the rest of the band's not.
The Pine Grove guys?
Yeah, I don't know how.
Ooh, I doubt that.
You doubt it? You think they're all rich?
No, I think they're all like 35 a year.
That's what I'm saying though. So they have
Yeah.
dedicated fans, but like I don't think. Like I have these bands that I'm a big fan of. The Black Lips. They've had like their songs in movies. The OCs is like another one, and I'll see interviews with them, and they're just like, "Yeah, it sucks. I don't have health insurance." Like,
Yeah.
like all this shit, and like you don't realize that like they like. I feel like the fact that I can work and do
Have health
music,
insurance?
I'm like
Yeah.
better in a better situation,
Yeah.
in many ways. I mean, it's
It'd be nice to have fans.
you have to tour. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
I'm
you
learning
do.
that, and I think of like once I have a set down, I might eventually just try it just for the fuck of it. It sounds kind
Yeah.
of fun.
Hell yeah. Same here. I need to plan a tour sometime and
You
start doing
actually have a
Reddit.
set. Like you have good. You have a good like set that you could go around with.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just like, I've been, I played shows, I played tours and stuff, and it's like,
Exhausting.
yeah, it is, but it's also like, I've had more success, like, and spending way less money.
That
See you
usually happens.
later. Okay. Spending way less money, like, investing on Reddit and online sources to, like, get music heard.
Wait, say that again.
I'm saying, like, I've been on tours and played my songs and,
Mhm.
like, talked with people after the show and, like, but I've made more success, like, being on Reddit.
I think if you had your band that I saw the other night, like, that's, like, the same band, and, like, you guys went around or something, like, that's an act where I'm sure what you had before was probably, like, a different band each night or whatever.
No, I would play by myself usually.
So that's a
Yeah.
complete different thing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I feel like you're in a different stage.
yeah. I would just say like I think that it's just like for marketing my music, I've just done online stuff and I've done pretty good on there. And I know that maybe I could do some tours, but it needs to be with somebody that could help me out really. And I know that's not really how that works. You have to be, since I would be the smaller act, I would need to help that band out, but I don't know.
What does that mean? You would have to help the band out. This is stuff I don't know anything about.
No, I'd say most touring bands,
Mhm.
if you're going to go on tour with them, they're probably going to want you, and like say that you're a smaller band, they're going to want you to bring more people rather than they bring all the people for you.
But if you're a smaller band, why would that work?
So, it
Like
just-
if you're a
it just-
hometown band,
it makes
kind
more
of
sense
situation.
logically, like to bring a band that people know who they are as well. If you just bring some nobody, like it's just it doesn't help out the other band. It helps out the other band if, like, say this band has 1 million fans and they
Mhm.
bring another band that has 250,000 fans.
Mm-hmm.
So say half of those fans of the 250,000 don't listen to that other band. Well, they're going to listen to them that night
Mm-hmm.
when that smaller band they listen to opens for the bigger band,
Mm-hmm.
and they become a fan based on their smaller band, playing with this big band. You know what I'm saying?
I see.
So, like, if a band with 1 million fans just got some guy, a random, acoustic artist
Mm-hmm.
that nobody listens to, it would just not benefit them at all.
Yeah.
So that's I think how a lot of musicians
You want
do
someone who's
tours.
going to help pull in people. I see.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, I also don't. I that's not how that works. Like, they're not gonna just want me to play unless I had people to bring to the show. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but here's another thing. Like, I don't think I have my fans are like I have silent fans. I wouldn't even call them fans. Like, I would say I have my family, and then I have my
Same here.
I have my family, and then I have friends from like high school, and my high school friend like Craig's friends, like the black community down here, they like love to support each other. The Jewish community, we see each other as competition.
Oh, that's why Brody's not here. I'm not gonna help that guy out.
No, Brody's. I like Brody.
I know,
Nothing.
dude.
Yeah.
Me too. We need to get him on here again. And
Yeah, I
Craig,
just
when you
hung out
mentioned
with
it.
him the other day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, hey, let's wrap this up.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Till next time, everybody. Can't believe you listened to this for 59 minutes.
That's back on. How did that happen?
It's God. We talked about Judaism for a second. He brought it back.